Hello guys, welcome to another episode of the NSMQ review show. On this episode, we'll be looking at the fixtures for the Bono, Ahafo, Bono East and Upper East regions. I'll be joined in the studio by some guests to help me to discuss the various fixtures. To join our conversation, you can log on to our social media platforms at NSMQ Ghana on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. My name is Ato Kwamena Afo Cleland. So joining me for the discussion today is Mr. Militus Ada from Navongo SHS, Mr. Robert Anachana from Bolgatanga SHS, and Mr. Joseph Ejay Japon from Our Lady of Mount Carmel Girls SHS. So I'll be doing the discussions with them. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so we'll start our discussion by talking about the atmosphere in the various balloting centers. So, looking at the fixtures, how did you see them when they came out?
Yeah, of course. As usual, the balloting atmosphere is always that of expectant. There's always excitement. This year was no exception. And given that schools usually would want to avoid other schools, what we call favorable balloting or lucky balloting, whatever it is, it made the atmosphere very charged. Schools like Sunyani SHS, schools like Notre Dame Girls, schools like Mount Carmel, Techiman Senior High School, schools who would want to avoid them, St. James Seminary. And this is what makes the balloting interesting. Last year, we had a very nice contest between St. James and Sunyani Senior High School, and we all saw how it went. So this year, we were expecting a repeat. Unfortunately or fortunately, St. James were drawn in a different contest, separate from that of Sunyani Senior High School. So generally, the atmosphere was charged. It was exciting. Some were disappointed. I even heard someone say they are not coming for the contest in a joking manner because they think their opponents are too tough. Others were all smiles because they feel they've had a favorable ballot. So generally, it's good. And preparation is also ongoing in the region. You know, this is the zone where we have no seeded school at the national competition. So preparation is usually on the low key, but we are doing our best. We are hoping for better balloting, better performance, and hopefully this time around we are going to perform better at the national.
So coming to the Bono and Ahafo regions, contest one, we have Drobo SHS, Wenchi Methodist SHS, Menji SHS, and Salvation Army SHS. These are the schools who are contesting in contest one. So, Joseph, still with you. What do you think of this particular contest? What can you tell us about the dynamics of the contest?
Okay, thank you very much. For contest one, it would sound like a prejudiced prediction, but actually I'm very objective. The fact that I'm from Mount Carmel, you would expect that I would predict for Mount Carmel, but actually on the ground, Mount Carmel is one of the top schools in the zone. Now you cannot mention 2 or 3 schools in the Bono, Ahafo and Bono East zone without mentioning Our Lady of Mount Carmel Girls. Last year, we missed out by just a point to Boam Ponsem at the 1-8 stage, and it was a very painful loss. We could have done better, but as it were, that is how it ended. So Mount Carmel in recent years has garnered a lot of experience. From 2018, we have always been at the national, but take nothing away from Atebubu Senior High School. They have also been perennial representatives. I think in 2019, at the 1A stage, they met Laboni SHS and Prempeh College. Prempeh College won that contest with 24 points. Atebubu had 17, same points as Laboni SHS. So they are also a very good side that you cannot write off. You can't downplay their capabilities. So it's going to be a contest between Mount Carmel and Atebubu. But trust you me, Mount Carmel is going to overpower Atebubu in contest one. Mount Carmel will qualify.
Okay, so I was saying that I spoke about Atebubu's experience, that they are very experienced when it comes to the NSMQ. Whereas in contrast, Mount Carmel, you don't really have that much of experience when it comes to the NSMQ. Don't you think that when it comes to this particular contest, experience will win out?
Like I said previously or earlier, Atebubu has the experience. They have always been there. Unfortunately, last year, they were drawn against Kunfiami or SHS due to the split in the region. The seeded schools, some of the seeded schools had to meet each other in the region. So Atebubu unfortunately met Kunfiami and were knocked out. They were prevented from qualifying to the national. So they have the experience, all right. But Mount Carmel is the school of the moment. They've also garnered, or we've also garnered the experience over the last 3 years. And experience, a little experience with form, current form, I think we are going to overpower Tibubu. Trust you me in that contest. It's going to be a win for Mount Carmel girls.
Moving on to the next contest, contest 2, we have Kintampo SHS, Guakuefa SHS, Amantin SHS, New Kokompe SHS, Jako Community Day SHS. These are the schools for contest 2. What can you tell me about this particular contest? Will it be an all play or affair? Or I think that there will be a clear winner?
Yes, if you just look at the face of the contest, Kintampo, Guakuefa, Amantin SHS, New Kokompe, and Jako Community Day SHS. You would easily predict for Kintampo SHS because they are also that experience side. They have always been there at the national competition. They have everything over the other schools. But don't forget that Amantin SHS in the last 2 editions, or let me say in 2019, they prevented Trinea Manfo from qualifying. If you remember that popular photo where a student was crying in Trinea Manfo school uniform, that was Amantin SHS that prevented Trinea Manfo from qualifying. So you can't take anything away from them. Kintampo must be wary of Amantin. And also Guakuefa SHS is in the Techiman enclave. They have schools like Mount Carmel, they have Techiman Senior High School, they have Ekunfiamel to train with. So if only they will capitalize on that opportunity to train with these schools, then they would also give Kintampo a run for their money. So it's going to be between Kintampo, Guakuefa, and Amantin SHS. But Kintampo SHS has enough experience to be able to pull through that contest. So I'm predicting a win for Kintampo SHS.
So on the contest, let's go to contest 3. We have Techiman SHS, Kwabro SHS, Kwame Danso SATS, and Kajeji SHS. These are the schools in contest 3. I think you find this interesting because you are smiling a lot. What can you tell me about contest 3?
I'm seeing a straight win by a wide margin even for Techiman SHS. By the way, I'm an old boy of Techiman SHS. Busian right here, but that in no way is affecting my prediction. Techiman SHS are also one of the experienced sides in the zone or the region. They have always been there. I think the last time they failed to qualify was against Mount Carmel Girls SHS in 2018. Before and after then, they have always been there. Last year, they put up a good show against St. Augustine's College at the 1-8 stage. So you can see clearly that none of the schools in that particular contest has the level of experience, and we are with them. We know the preparation they are putting up. They are a very good side, and they will win that contest by daylight, if you ask me.
All right, so contest 4, we have Ekunfiamel SATS, St. Francis Seminary SHS, Nkranza SHS, and Yeboah Isiamwa SHS. These are the schools vying for a spot from contest 4. Who looks like a likely winner?
Yes, contest 4 promises to be one of the most exciting contests in the region. It's going to be very tricky. If you look at the face of the contest, you just say Ekunfiamel is going to win. But Nkranza SHS has been one of the sides that have always been preparing, knocking on the doors of qualification. I think the last time they qualified was in 2014 or so. Since then, they have always had it tough when it comes to balloting. In 2018, Mount Carmel Girls beat them to qualify. Last year, for example, they met Techiman SHS. It was a very fierce contest at the qualifiers. Techiman SHS had to win with the last riddle. So Nkranza SHS is a very experienced side. They are veterans, but in recent years, they have had the balloting tough, and hence they have not been qualifying. If I pair them against Ekunfiamel, or I peg them against Ekunfiamel SHS, I think Ekunfiamel is going to have it very tough this year against Nkranza, and I'm expecting a win for Nkranza SHS in that particular contest. It's going to be surprising, but I am expecting Nkranza SHS to take the seed, the regional seed, let me put it that way, from Ekunfiamel SHS.
So according to Mr. Joseph Ejapon, Nkranza has a surprise for us in this 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz competition. To join our discussions and for updates, you can follow us or let us be interactive on our social media platforms at NSMQ Ghana, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So coming to the Bono and Ahafo regions, contest 1, we have Drobo SHS, Wenchi Methodist SHS, Menji SHS, and Salvation Army SHS. These are the schools who are contesting in contest 1. So, Joseph, still with you. What do you think of this particular contest? What can you tell us about the dynamics of the contest?
Contest 4, or let me say contest 1 on day 2 is similar to contest 4, that is day 1, in that Drobo SHS is an experienced side, they always qualify. But you have Wenchi Methodist, like Nkranza SHS, that I mentioned in contest 4, they have a similar situation where they are a very good, they're a very prepared side, but they always have it tough when it comes to the balloting. So Wenchi Methodist, I think we met them a year ago, 2 years ago. We have always been meeting them in track contests. They are a very good side, but they always have it tough in their qualifiers. So it's going to be a contest between Drobo and Wenchi Methodist, but with the experience of Drobo, if they keep up what they do always, they will qualify in that contest. But I'm expecting Wenchi Methodist to pull a surprise in that particular contest. They've been knocking on the doors, and I think this year is their year to qualify ahead of Drobo SHS.
Okay, so contest 2, we have Notre Dame Girls SHS, Trinidad Manfo SHTS, Methodist SHTS, Berkum, Our Lady of Providence Girls. So looking at contest 2, what are the dynamics? What can you tell me about who comes out on top, who doesn't make the cut?
Clearly, Notre Dame Girls have the advantage. Notre Dame Girls are also a very good side. One of the hopes, let me put it that way. In 2018, they had it very tough against St. Peter's at the prelims. That was contest 1, very, very hot contest. They were leading in round 1, and St. Peter's, in the speed race, bulldozed their way through. They just put a very big gap between them and the girls. And since then, their performance hasn't been quite up there. But in the region, they are one of the favorites to qualify all the time. Our Lady of Providence is going to put up a tough challenge. Trinidad Manfo was one of the schools in the Bono region that was also always qualifying. They always put up a good show. But for some time now, they've also been quite dormant. So if Trinidad Manfo could revisit their old days and pick up the pieces together, it's going to be a very heated contest. And the contenders here are Notre Dame Girls, Trinidad Manfo SHTS, and Our Lady of Providence. But I'm tipping Notre Dame Girls to win by a slight margin.
All right, so contest 3, we have Odumasiman SHS, Nafana Presby SHS, and Kuraman SHS, and Soko State SHS. Looking at this, can you give me a brief summary of what you think will happen on that day?
Odumasiman made it to the national last year after quite a long time of absence. Nafana Presby also missed out last year after also qualifying almost every year. So it's between someone who has been missing out for a long time, qualifying for the first time in many years, and one who has also been going or qualifying and missed out just a year before. If you ask me, Nafana is going to pick back their slots. They are going to qualify for the national ahead of Odumasiman SHS.
So Nafana likely to qualify from contest 3. Contest 4, we have Sacred Heart SHS, Sumaman SHS, SDA SHS, and St. James Seminary SHS. So it looks like we have someone there who can contest against St. James. We have Sacred Heart SHS. Do you believe that's the case?
Say it is a clear win, but obviously, if you look at the parent right there, St. James Seminary is one of the schools that is supposed to hoist the flag of the region and the zone in general, because they are a very good side. The problem with St. James has always been whether they actually take the preparation as the other schools do, because we are expecting St. James to be up there rubbing shoulders with schools like Opokuware, schools like Prempekali, schools like St. Augustine's, the likes of Adisadel. That should be, St. James is our Adisadel, our Presec in the Bono Ahafo zone. But unfortunately, when it comes to NSMQ, they have not always been able to prove their mettle. But in this particular contest, this year, I'm hearing that St. James is out there preparing. They are we will call it underground preparation. They have that ability to be able to make the region proud. And I'm sorry for the other schools, Sacred Heart, Sumaman, SDA. St. James is going to win. Last year, if it wasn't for Susek, that is very experienced, St. James would have qualified last year, but this year no one is stopping them. And I'm expecting a very good show from St. James Seminary. They should make the region proud. They have the ability. They are the PRESEC, they are the Prempe, they are the OAS of the Bono East and Ahafo zone.
So St. James are being tipped to win contest 4 there. Contest 5, you have Sunyani SHS, Goka SHS, Istikama SHS, and Shura SHS. This is contest 5.
Okay, contest 5 is one of those contests where you cannot pick anyone ahead of Sunyani SHS. It is going to be a clear win for them. Goka Senior High, Istikama, Shura Senior High School are no match. If you ask me, on any day, they are no match. Unless, of course, there is something cooking that I do not know of.
So let's move to day 2. We have contest 6, Brekum SHS, Jene SHS, Doma SHS, and Bedu SHTS. These are the 4 schools in that particular group. Looking at them, how does it look like? What are the dynamics?
This is actually a derby that we have there. A derby in the sense that in the region, when it comes to things like sports, if you have this, that is Brekum SHS, and you have Domas, that is Doma SHS, it always promises to be a very interesting clash in sports, in every other field of competition. So if you take Brekum, they have been one of the sides that are very consistent. They are very, very consistent with their performance in NSMQ. Last year, if you look at the way they performed against St. Peter's at the 1-8 stage, if I know the videos are on YouTube, you can check it out. St. Peter's against Brekum SHS. They were able to pick as much as 8 points in the speed race against St. Peter's. 8 points in the speed race against St. Peter's. That is something that it counts for something. They are a very experienced side in the region. Against Doma, who has also been qualifying year in, year out, but missed out last year due to 1 or 2 reasons. I think Brekum has reached the level where they can use their experience that they've garnered over the years to beat Doma to that contest. But it's a derby. In every competition that Bears meets Domas, it's a derby, and it's going to be very interesting. But I'm tipping a Bears Brekum SHS, that is, to beat Doma SHS.
Contest 1 of the Ahafo region, we have PRESEC Bechim, Boma SHS, Hwidiem SHS, and Jefi Kumenini SHS. These are the schools here in contest 1 for the Ahafo region. Is there anything interesting about this particular group?
Yeah, of course. In that particular contest, Boma SHS is a school that they surprised. That was MEM SHS, if I remember clearly. In last 2 years qualifiers, they pulled up a surprise there. And interestingly, MEM came back. They met Boma again and took back their slot. So Boma SHS have tasted the national competition. I think they love it. They are motivated to do more as against when they had never qualified. So it's going to be a very interesting contest between the 2 schools that are leading. To me, PRESEC Bechim and then Boma SHS. Hwidiem SHS too have been knocking on the doors for some time, but in the Bono region, there are schools that are very tough, so it is not easy to qualify from that region. So I would add Hwidiem to also put up a performance right there. Jefi Kumenini is new in the game, and I'll be very surprised if they were able to qualify in that contest. It's between PRESEC, Boma, and then Hwidiem, but then I will tip Bechim PRESEC to qualify in that contest.
Bechim PRESEC to qualify in contest 1 of the Ahafo region. Contest 2 of the Ahafo region, we have MEM SHS, Samuel Otu, Presby SHS, Ahafoman SHS, and Sewa Kese SHS. These are the 4 schools in contest 2. Sewa Kese, they have put up some good performances. Do you think that they can continue in that vein when it comes to contest 2?
Yeah, Sewa Kese Girls SHS has been performing very fabulously in debate competitions at the national level. But when it comes to the NSMQ, they have been found wanting. They have not been able to actually make it there. In that particular contest, in MEM SHS are the favorites to win, clearly. But if I look at their performance that they put up last year, and in fact, for about 2 or 3 years now, they seem to be declining. They are on the decline somehow. Ahafoman SHS is a school that you should watch out for. They are picking pieces together. Last year, they put up a good show, just that they could not qualify. This year, they are very poised for action in that particular qualifier. So if you ask me, MEM SHS is going to have it tough with Ahafo SHS, and then Sewakese is also still coming up. They are trying to pick up the pieces in terms of NSMQ. So it's between MEM SHS, Ahafo and then Sewakese girls. If you push me to the wall, by some I wouldn't call it supernatural reason. This is by my observation on the ground. This is underground. I am tipping Ahafo to put up a very good show and surprise MEM SHS.
So contest 3, we have Achirensia SHS, Kukum Agrek SHS, Ola Girls SHS, Kenyase, and Dema SHS. So these are the schools in contest 3 of the Ahafo region. Who stands tall? Who falls?
Obviously, Achirensia stands tall. Last year, we met them. When I say we, Mount Carmel Girls, we met them at the prelims, the regional based prelims, together with MEM SHS. They are a very good side. They promised to come back this year stronger than they did last year. But Ola Girls have also been quite dormant in recent years. When those times when I remember Sam Prempe, greetings to him, he's now at Santaman SHS. It used to be a very interesting side. This time around, they have not put up a very good show in the qualifiers. But then they have the experience in the region. They can put up a very good competition against Achirensia SHS. And don't write out Kukuma Grade 2. As though they have not been qualifying, they always put up a good show. But clearly, Achirensia stands tall to qualify in that particular contest.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph Ejapon. So if you're still with us, this is the NSMQ review show. Let's get interactive on our social media handles. It's at NSMQ Ghana on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. So the Upper East region, we have contest 1 here. Sandema SHS, Zoko SHS, Fumbinsi SHS, and Boko SHS. So, Mr. Militusada, you'll be helping me to do this particular ones.
Yeah, so looking at these schools, there are 2 schools that stand out of that particular group, and that is Sandema Senior High Technical and that of the Boko Senior High. Now you are aware that in 2016, Sandema Senior High Technical put up a very good fight there, and they were able to get seeded in that particular very year. Now, the last year, actually, the squad that they had, it was not good as compared to, even though they were strong, but in the zonal qualifier, they could not find their way through for whatever reason it is. It was so surprising. And that is what you should expect of the National Science and Maths quiz, that you can not always have it easy every year. Looking at them with the Boku Senior High, I think they are a little bit ahead of Boku Senior High. But some years past, Boku Senior High always have some surprises to make. And if they are well prepared, Sandema Senior High, I tip them to come out from that particular group, but it's not going to be easy with them. With Boku Senior High, we expect to have a very good fight there, and it is between the 2, and anyone can take the slot.
So we move on to contest 2. We have Notre Dame SHS, Our Lady of Lourdes Girls, and Sandema SHS. These are the 3 schools here. Out of these 3 schools, who do you think will be the first?
This contest is just a straight win for Notre Dame Seminary. They have been there several years, but their performance sometimes it look very you can't describe it, because sometimes they'll come up tough, and sometimes they'll flop in such a way that you will not believe that a seminary school with such caliber of students can perform abysmal. But then with this particular group, it is a clear win. It is a very clear win. I can say it. Yeah. So Notre Dame Seminary will come top in that particular group. Come what may, they will qualify.
So contest 3, we have Gori SATS, Timpani SHS, China, SHS, and Zebila SHTS. Looking at these 4 schools lined up here, who do you believe can come out of this group?
Yeah, so the contest there, forgetting of the other schools, is going to be between Gori. Yeah, it is going to be between Gori and the last school, Gori and Zablia, is going to be the 2 schools. Those 2 schools have been there before, and they are experienced side. But what happens there is that it depends on the crop of students that they have. That determines their qualification. And so if a particular year, one of those schools have a very good student to represent the school, then they have their way of going through. But if you look at the analysis, it's always Gori who have been coming out of that group to join the regular qualifiers in every year. And so, but I will tip the 2, but it will depend on the crop of students that they have in this particular year. It is a chance for the 2 schools.
So contest 4, we have Zamse SHTS, Nabango SHTS, Bion SHTS, and Bolgatanga Technical Institute, and those are the schools in the 4th contest. Mr. Militus, tell me more about this contest.
Yeah, that one too is a clear win for Zamse. The rest of the schools that you mentioned there, they are day schools, and most of them are not even doing science. But because of the National Science and Maths, the structure that none of the schools should be left out. Every school should be given an opportunity to contest. They have been put there, but most of those schools they don't even do science, and some of them too are technical schools, and so clearly it is a win for exams because they do science, and most of the times they also qualify, and they are at the experience side, so you can trust me. They will come out through that particular group.
So Zamse being tipped to qualify from contest 4. So contest 5, we have Bolgatanga SHS, Paga SHS, Sirigu Integrated SHS, and Zwarungu SHS. Looking at it, it looks like we have Bolgatanga here and Paga, who might make up the top 2 in this group. Do you believe it is so?
Yeah, it is a runaway for Bolgatanga Senior High. It is a clear runaway. They can just get up at any day and just pick any of the students, and they'll come and win this particular school. As I said, it is also a community-day school, and then the type of grades that's going to that school, my brother. So it is a runaway for Bolgatanga Senior High, and they don't need to even put up any serious preparation to go through. The only thing is that the next stage is where they might find themselves if they are not well prepared. But trust me, they will come out from that group.
So contest 6, we have Congo SHS, Awe SATS, Bolgatanga Girls SHS, and Kusanaba SHS. Mr. Militus, looking at these 4 schools which are lined up here, who do you believe will not make the cut?
Oh, I will just pick one school out of it, and as usual, it's going to be Bolgatanga's girls. They are going to come out from that particular group. But then there was a year that Congo Senior High put up a very a good performance to come out as one of the schools qualifying from the region. But then since then, they have not been able to come up and show their potentials for some time now. Now, another thing is that their science base is not that up as compared to that of the Bolgatanga's girls. And so they have been qualifying. Bolgatanga senior girls have been qualifying. They have been they are always among the top schools that you can mention of when you talk of the good schools in the Upper East. And so I see them, if you compare them, the probability that they will take the slots from that particular group is high than that of Congo Senior High. So I tip the Bolgatanga girls to pick up that slot.
So to contest 7, we have Boko SATS, Bongo SHS, St. John's Integrated SATS, and Kanjaga SHS. Does it look like Boko SATS will come out tops, or you think there's another school in there who can challenge them?
I think Boko, as you said, is true that Boko Senior High Technical will come out from that. One thing that you should know is that the secondary schools in Boko, especially Boko Senior High and Boko Senior High Technical, they are very good schools. But one thing is that they have not been meeting in the balloting process. Sometimes they fall among the gurus, and so they are not able to come up to qualify. But once this year, the group that they are falling in, you can trust me that Boko Senior High Technical is likely to pick up that particular slot.
All right, Militus, thank you. But before you go, looking at all the contests that you've previewed so far, which one do you think is a must watch?
I can't see any tough group among them, because all the schools that are likely to qualify are in one particular spot. The only group that you can think of, maybe there will be a little struggle there, is going to be the group that is between Gori. Yeah, that particular group, I think contest 3. That is the only group that you can say that there will be a little of competition there. But the rest of the schools that I just mentioned, you can trust me, they will come out as runaway schools. They are not just going to have a sweat in the competition. So that is what I can say for now.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Militus Ada. So if you have been listening to our discussions, you can join in on our social media platforms at NSMQ Ghana on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So we're able to get the views of some of our coordinators who are present at the ballot, and let's go and listen to them.
This year, I want to assure you that we have actually come out. Last year we met Susek, who are real players in the game of NSMQ. We've been novice. We have not prioritized the idea of NSMQ so much. We've made a lot of strides in WASI, but I believe this is the time. That we come out with a new portfolio, and this portfolio is NSMQ. I bet everybody out there, watch out, because St. James, we have really evolved, and coming out is just like wounded lions. So I want to assure the general public that what they have been waiting for is gradually taking shape, or it has taken shape already.
You're going to tell us your name, the school you're representing, what has been happening to you over the years, and the schools you're coming up against this year, and your expectation.
My name is Daniel Kaja, Sumamai Senior High Coordinator. We have never been to national before, and this year we are quite for all action to get there. This is our 4th appearance at the regional level. Last year we happened to find ourselves under St. James and Domas, but it couldn't work well for us. But this year we found ourselves under 3 mission schools, and we are the only community school. And we want to tell them that we are singled out and we are going.
When it comes to national science and math space, to me there are no middles. We don't have smaller schools. So our expectation is we are going to work hard so that at the end we emerge as victors. The schools that we are going to compete with is Samuel Kotu Senior High School, Mim Senior High School, and Ahafo. As I've said, we don't have widows in this competition, so we are going to work hard, do our best, and at the end, I think we will be crowned.
So on our next episode, we'll be looking at the fixtures from the Volta, OT, and Upper West regions. My name is Ato Kwamena Afo, Clearland. Bye for now.